15 years ago Russell Byfield retired. He had treated difficult all his lifetime house up his heater and water pipe industry. It was period to delight his resignation in his woman Maureen. They had plans to journey, expend period in their household and delight their recreation. But during a pair of year, all how modified. Maureen was undiagnosed in imbecility. She was in her previous 70s. A contemporary web browser in JavaScript and a steady web connect is required to type the online. Come yours postal code or justice behalf the state advanced slow at first, but slowly the considerate responsibilities took their duty on Russell. He had a mini stroke and later a cardiac assault in fast continuity 10 years back. It was precise he could not go on looking following mother, says his child Sand Sugary, 59. This just stock option was to go her in a household. Her imbecility was progressive and my daddy's public health was receive worst. At the period Russell and Maureen were residing in Western Yorkshire, but Sand and her sibling were both of residing in the southward of England. The household solved. The top decision would be for Russell and Maureen to sail the household and go coming to their family. How intended conclusion: a nurse household for Maureen and a new characteristic for Russell. Russell, who is now 85, ended up purchase a cottage really shut to his child's household in Wiltshire, time Maureen, now 86, excited in a nurse household run in neighbouring Berkshire. It's a fabulous household. We are really happy in it. She told the Just issue was how Leeds Town Justice, that was classed as the household regional credibility since of wherever Maureen had been residing, would not foundation the entire price and the NHS rejected to promote to in spite Maureen reception nurse thoroughness. Sand says, we had to pay almost part of it, on £500 a 1 week. It seems so unjust. If she had carcinoma, the NHS would include been down there for her. Yet she had a marrow illness and so we didn't get any assist of the NHS, in spite the reality she necessary nurse thoroughness. 9 year on, the household had consumable about £250,000. Sand says, we fair thick felt we could not promote any more then. All Dad had was his retirement and his cottage. The finance were reassessed and Leeds coordinated to encounter the complete price. I'm not irate in the justice. It is the framework how is incorrect. I met Theresa May at the Tory side meeting the year, I said her how. The household's expertise is not distinctive although the Alzheimer's community says thousands of families discover themselves in the position. The common price of imbecility thoroughness is £100,000, though for several it can top £500,000 for a man's life expectancy in thoroughness. Alzheimer's community head execution Jeremy Hughes says, it's harrowing to listen stories love Sands, her household let downward by the framework they've paid in all their lives, refusing them while they requirement it largest since imbecility thoroughness is so costly, difficult to accessing, and frequently impoverished quality assurance, a quiet troop of partners, sons, daughters and friends are possessing to move to. He would love to see the injustice aimed by the government. Ministers include pledge to issue a verdant document on public thoroughness financing in England. But he is worried how it has not yet been published. It was anticipated to be out in the summer. And it is not just imbecility patients who are creature let downward. Study by Age UK shows how one day you element in some illnesses and facility down there are 1.4 millionth above 65s who do not get the assist they requirement. It represents a growth of almost a fifth in just 2 years. It is not remarkable. Financing for older human beings as thoroughness has been cut off. Time cladding the identical pressures of an aging people, in compare, Wales and Scotland include substantially secured their budgets. Down there is no compared information accessible for Northern Ireland. Councils, that manage the framework, include affection for the distress of the sensitive who trust on their services. The regional by the government associate, LGA, became so fed up in wait for the by the government how it manufactured its own verdant document. It named for tax rises so city halls could put more than in the framework. Advisor Ian Hudspeth, of the LGA, says services are at break spot. Job to discover a length-term financing decision for age. Public thoroughness has been kicked in the length by subsequent governments for the history too many decades, he says. This present position is unstable and is lack human beings on a everyday base. Information journalistic by Tom Calverer, R.O.S. Anning and Ed Lother. The thoroughness instrument was intended by Sandra Rodriguez Chiolita and advanced by Scott Jarvis.